The halacha, if a mechalel Shabbos befaresia, if he cooks, if he has a halacha of nochri legabe the of bishul akum or pas akum, so if we compare him the whole din of culture of resa like a nochri, the mele whatever he cooks it will be also or bakes bishul akum or pas akum. So the behemoth is in Kitzur Shulchan in Simon Ayin Beis he paskens like this: Kol mechal Shabbos befaresia aruk everything the whole dvarov. Chutz mekiddushin. That's from the Alter Rebbe. The Kulam ask him to that, but kiddush of kiddushin, even though it's mechal Shabbos paresia. So im in a ger b'yayin osroi, if he touches the wine, become yayin nesech. The pas shru oife. The Kitzur says if he bakes bread, havek pas ovet kechovim. The chera tavshil shum avashel, havek mo bishul ovet kechovim. Okay, so that's what the Kitzur paskens. However, it's not so poshut at all because Kitzur is a Kitzur. He doesn't bring all the halachas with the details. So so we're going to see now. It depends when and what. So in Yeredeya, in Kuf Yud Beis, which talks about Pas Akum, the Pischet Tshuva, he brings over there a Tshuva that some saying that the Pas Akum, the Pas of mechalel Shabbos Fares, it's not like Pas Akum. He's bringing like this. I end by Reita Beseveti First Moshe. He says because of the Pas Shel Mumor Shore. Somebody mumor. It's somebody completely went to another religion or mumor and mechal Shabbos Faresia. That he says is mutar. With the mishum chasnus leika. You can't say all. We're going to see this. One of the reasons that the pas akum or bishul akum also you might come to chasnus. You're going to eat together what he cooked for you, what he baked for you. You're going to have friendship, closeness. That you might come to a chasna. You might meshadach your kids together or whatever. You might come to chasnus. He says over here it's not shaykh. Why the koponim shechoto Yisraelu, even though he's a balchoita, but he's Yisraelu. Who mutar lisa bitoy, and he says you're allowed to marry his daughters. So over here he pasken in Kuf Yud Beis, which just talks about pas akum. So the pas he says of a mumar of a mechal Shabbos Faresia lechoyre etz mutar. Now in Kuf Yud Gimel over there is the halachas of bishul akum. He brings ayel shel amarit. He says because of the ikar agzeret mishum chasnus, yeah, the lefi. Tam zesh shora bishul shel mumar. It's the same. He brings the same tshuva. The mishum chasnus leika. Elo, he said like this. There's another reason why pas akum bishul akum osor. One reason. Rashi brings both reasons. One he brings in the Mishnah. I'm going to soon see it inside. One he brings in the Gemara. One says mishum chasnus. One shema yachilena dvarim asurim. He's not trustworthy. Somebody himself doesn't believe in kashrus. He might give you something not kosher too. It says ulefizeh gam bishul shemumar osur. Okay, so he says, so again, so he says, he brings over here in Kuf Yud Beis, he says, it's mutar b'pashtus. In Kuf Yud Gimel, he says, on one hand I could say, on one hand I could say, it's also, so it's also. So what am I said to do? So the Emma says, it's interesting, when they talk about the Bishul Akum and Pas Akum, in those two places, the tour and the Shulchan Aruch, yeah. So in Kuf Yud Beis, which is Pas Akum, he said, "Mechalel adam osrum mishum chasnus." Pirush lo yovel ischat and boim. Yeah. Then in Kuf Yud Gimel, he says like this. Rav Rabbeinu Avram, the two brings the Tosfos from Rav Rabbeinu Avram. Matirim and Bishlam Akum b'Beis Shel Yisrael. De lo shavu yolom shem chasnus v'lom shem yaned dvarim ha'atmeim. Yeah. So over here he mentioned. This is interesting. Like I said, Rashi brings two reasons why you're not allowed to eat pas akum bishul akum. In the Mishnah, in Daf Lamed Hey, in Amasechas Avodah Zarah, he says over there, "V'ashalku shekol dover shebishlo evet kacham v'afilu bechli toher." That's what it says in Daf Lamed Hey with Beis. In Daf Lamed Ches, and this Gemara, he says, it's also with Rabban, and Shelo Yeh Yisrael, Rogi Letzla, B'machal, Mishtav, Yachilan, Dover, Tomer. So interesting. The Tur, I'm asking to both of those shittas. So again, the Gabe Pas Akum is not Shayach, the second reason of Rashi. Maybe he's going to give him the Dover not kosher. Why? Because normally that's how they do it till today. Most of the breads, that's flour and water. There's nothing non-kosher over there. Mechalel says the only reason remains over there ostro pas akum not mishum shema yachon dvarim asurim. We're not talking about you buying from him some kind of knishes or some kind of thing that he might put bread, push the bread. So that says only also mishum chasnas. Again, by bishul, when you cook stuff, you could put all kinds. You could put non-kosher chicken meat. You could put all kinds of non-kosher. It says also Shum very masuri. That's why, but the Pischat Shuva also, when he talks about pas akum, he says if it's a mechalel Shabbos b'Faresia, he brings in the Ma'arit that you could and Tiferes Moshe you could eat it. Why? Because over there it's not shach dvorim asurim. Elamai chasnos. Chasnos, you're allowed to make chasna with him. If you want to marry his kids, it's no issue to marry. Adrabah, it's such a Israel. You might be carrying him even. That's you're allowed to do. But he talk about bishul akum. There's another reason kicks in. Not only chasnos. Dvorim asurim. Dvorim asurim, he says you cannot really trust him because he might give you. Because according to this, comes out like this. Now, come in la halacha. If there is a restaurant or a caterer that he has a chef or a cook over there that is mechalel Shabbos b'Faresia. So mitzad chasnus, it's not a problem. You're allowed to marry him. And mitzad yachelan dvarim asurim, if there is hashgocha in the place, the mashgiach, the sea, everything should be kosher. That's not a problem either. The whole yisur over there, shema yachelan, he might send you, give it to you something or sell you something not kosher. If you have a mashgiach, so then that's not a problem. By the go, even there is a mashgiach, it's not enough. That's what the Svar Avram the Baal HaTosis, maybe it's good enough in the Jewish home. But the Lamaisa we don't paskin like this. It says even in the Jewish home, lechatchila, but the Eved Lushah, but lechatchila will not matter it because even though it's not shayach, yachelan dvorim asurim, it's not chasnus, it's a little bit still shayach. But so according to this, so if you have a hashgocha, a goy cannot put the fire because even though it's not shayach dvorim asurim, but mitzat chasnus, it's still gezerah chasnus, it's there. But mechalel Shabbos b'Faresia, if there is a mashgiach over there, you could eat this pas and bishul because it's not shayach chasnus because it's mutar, and mitzad dvarim asurim you have a mashgiach. So what the kitzur says it's bekitzer, and sometime it's osur pas shebislo mechalel Shabbos b'Faresia. But in many scenarios, what the mechalel Shabbos b'Faresia when you cooked or baked, it would be mutar.